Me, Miss Cat, the founder of the Woke Money Movement, here on the wokeNbusiness podcast. And we have yet another phenomenal guest. But to me, he's not a guest. To me, he might be a guest to y'all, but he's not a guest to me. But before we do, we always got to, show homage to the Woke Money wine. It is all natural, gluten-free, fortified, so it is 17%. It'll get you right. Look, so I know Carl is he's not new to the Woke Money wine, but if you come sit on the podcast, I'm gonna share some wine with you, okay?
Yeah.
So while I pour up, let me go ahead and get you to introduce yourself and let's get this party started.
Okay. Well, my name is Carl Nayland II. I am a creator. That's what I like to go by. When you're a creator, you do many things, and a lot of times you end up categorizing yourself in one category. Like, I do videography, I do act, I write, I do music. So just all around creator. But really right now I'm here talking about Business4Businesses, which is a group that we're creating. That's a content group that's pretty much merging film with social media and creating business from social media.
Okay. So, go ahead and take a sip because I need you to.
I never gave it a review, right? So that's what it's for, right?
So I need you to take a little sip, and calm your nerves a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how you feeling about the wine?
I think that it's like when people see it's one color, but they see two different colors.
Okay.
Like, some people would say it's pink, but it's red.
I got you.
So it's like some people would think it's citrus or lemon.
They do. That's the tone that I get.
Yeah. So I get more of a citrus taste, but then when I hear people say lemon, it's like, oh, I could taste the lemon, but it's strong. That's the thing about it.
And it gets you right.
And I actually hear people say that Woke Money wine had you sleep. But really, to me, honestly, the depth in it in my book is you gotta be still to be woke. So you can't wake up if you already woke. You can't wake up if you moving around. So what it do is it get to them legs, make you sit down somewhere so you can learn. It's just about people being able to sit down long enough to see that side.
I love it. So, Carl, look, I know that you wanted to go really quick and just kind of dance over, what you do, but I have been working with you for quite some time. We've been working together for quite some time.
Yeah.
And you are a very, I think, talented is an understatement. You are one of the best underground rappers that I know. Seriously.
Thanks.
You can rap. You can one of the best editors, guys. So if you guys need something edited, the film, I mean, it is bar none. Here in this city, I don't think that he gives himself enough just due. So I'm going to give you your flowers while I can. But how did you get started, Carl? How did you even where you are today? How did it happen?
Moving through the creative world. I always like to go back to doing music. Because it's like I tell people, you have to move to find your way. A lot of times people want to wait till they could find a way to move, but it's like being in the house with the lights off. You got to move till you find a window or a light or a door. And I feel like music is the start of it, because when I started doing music, I got into film from wanting to do my own videos because I wasn't satisfied with the video work that I would pay for.
Gotcha.
And I didn't even want to start to make money off of it. It was just so I can be able to learn how to do it and do it for my own company. And ended up becoming a business from it. And that's one thing I learned. It was a jewel that I learned and actually heard it in the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, whenever you separate yourself from the money, you learn quicker. And when I first started, which you remember when I first started, I wasn't really attached to money. I was already making money for maybe the first 2 years when I first started. So everything was all learning. And it made me move pretty fast. Things slowed down a little bit when it became about the money. I had to learn that the hard way.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, and that's a great point. This man said things slowed down when it became about the money.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's real right there.
Yeah.
So talk about, you said that you started off, you wanted to learn because, people were doing your music videos. You didn't like the way they was doing your videos. So you like, you know what, I'm gonna learn.
Yeah.
But then from there it progressed.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the progression of, you moving through the industry.
Well, yeah, well, it helps you find your place in what you are. That's why I say I'm a creator. Because even inside of music, it was like, oh yeah, I could rap. I know I wasn't shabby at all. I'm gonna hold my own. Most time you're gonna remember me if I go somewhere and I do music. But even dissecting that, it made me understand what is it that I like. I like writing. I like going in the studio and creating the music itself. Even inside of the music world, they don't really categorize everything like they're supposed to. Like a good artist, if whoever's speaking on them may be talking about freestyle and another person may be talking about performing, and all those are different categories. The best performer may not write the best. The best writer may not freestyle the best. So you have to dig deep and find out who you are. And I just think it started from that, being able to go through so many different ways to find out, to dummy it down, is being creative. And like they say, like we're made in the image of God. A lot of times we dummy that down into just being protectors and providers as men when God is a creator. So I feel like the artist side of people is that part of God putting it in them, So I just say I'm a creator, and I think that's pretty much the foundation. Time will pretty much, if you are a man of many hats most of the time, or a woman of many hats, you're really just a creator.
Okay. He said so in essence, we all have that creator in us.
Yeah. Some people, and there's nothing wrong with just being one way. Like, some people a person may just create shoes. Nothing's wrong with that at all. But some of us create many things, and I had to learn that I'm one of those people. So, I watch, I pay attention. I watch Carvana grow a business from social media during COVID. I watched Tasty start doing just videos on food, and they're a $1 million business, and it all started from social media, because social media gives us the power to go directly to the people. You don't have to go through the platforms. It's just about whether or not you want to do your homework to dissect demographics and actually study on what's hitting. You got to actually do something and miss just to be able to hit. And my biggest goal with Business4Businesses is to pretty much show people that if you have a brand, or if you have a business, or if you even do anything pertaining to business, that means you're trying to create motion. If you're trying to create motion, it is no reason to not be able to use your social media to do it. A lot of times people wait to get all these things. I got a car wash company and I use my house. Okay, well, we can start there. Exactly. Well, I just got a power washer hooked to the okay, well, if you have people coming through, then we can actually record that there and show that there. Oh, if you have a product, we can, if it's funny, let's do a skit. Oh, you don't have all that together, we can just do a product spin. We could just do a pan of your business with the information on it. It's just so much that you can actually do, and a lot is not being done because everybody's trying to do what platforms are doing.
And I gotta take a moment and just say how much I just love what you just said. So a lot of times people start a business and they think that the business has to be perfect for them to implement. But from the creative side, what Carl is saying is you can spin what you have. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And that's all part of being a creative. Because like you said, you may not have a brick and mortar location, but can we, take you out on the street and do a skit? Or can we just zoom in? So maybe I'm selling this wine from the house, but, at the end of the day, we can do on the kitchen table. We can do a commercial of me just pouring the wine. You get what I'm saying? From the kitchen table. So the moral of the story is I don't even think, and this is just how great this is that people don't understand how being creative
Yeah.
can really help you propel your business,
Yeah.
because a lot of times it's the creativity that will initially propel you.
Yeah. It's like if you, I think we overthink it. A
Yep.
lot of times we think about making something that people like or figuring out the way to reach them through what they like, when it's really just about making them think the way you want them to think. You know what I'm saying? So when you break that down like that, because that's all they do with us anyway, it's just about understanding that. Like even with radio, just understanding music. Like not saying that the music on the radio wouldn't be good, but at the end of the day, you could think of a song that you hate and you know the words to it, because it's played over and over again. It's told to you it's good. It's not really played because it's good. It's telling you it's good. You know, so
Exactly.
so a lot of times you just pretty much have to go into it by like, what do I want people to take from this, and how do I make them think like what I want them to take from it, and then implement that game plan.
Awesome. And so would you say that visually you can help people, part of what you do,
Yeah.
I would say is, of course we're going to talk about business for business, but let's just talk about this from the creative standpoint. I think that as a creator, right, in that space, that's something that you can help other businesses do, is take that vision and,
Yeah. Be creative. That's the thing. Use it to be creative. You know, use it to start somewhere. Use it to start with whatever you have, and whatever, even if it's with a phone. You know what I'm saying? Like you. Some people, I don't have a camera. You got an iPhone. You know what I'm saying? You have a Android. Just no reason to not start. And a lot of times the biggest lesson in life right now is understanding that knowing things for delegating. You know, so a lot of people are, I got my own stuff now, and I do videography, so a lot of times I laugh because like, okay, go play with it. Because the thing is, you got to have enough time to do it. You have to have understanding. You may know how to record, but you may not know how to dissect your footage. You may not know how to actually put it out there to reach an audience. And that's what the time we in is, understanding the value of that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think that's where we at. That's why so many people are doing their own thing, which is good, but it's going to bring everybody to where they need to be, whether it's you doing more or you doing less, but understanding the less that you're doing.
Got you. And I just say being on the creative side as well, even though like I'm not really in that role no more. Look, and to be honest with y'all, when people be coming to me, I'll be like, look, Flume TV, Flume got it. Look, at the end of the day, because that's just not a space, for me anymore. But I as I talk with you and as we really break it down, this is what separates the people that like take their business to the next level, is having these little creative things. Like for example, we did the New Jack City spinoff for the Woke Money Wine commercial. We could have just easily got the bottle, poured it up. I mean, like there are so many different ways that we could have told that story, but we decided, oh, you know what, we're going to basically use something that we know people can resonate with. We wanted to tell our own story, right? So I think that it's important that people understand, like, if you have the means to do so, you definitely want to collaborate with individuals that's what they do, because a lot of times, like I said, you can put together basic stuff because you don't have that other side of the brain that work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And doing videography long enough, it showed me that I would be in positions where, people don't understand how much management they need. And me being an artist, me being older and looking back at myself made me understand how much management I needed. You know what I'm saying? So I will find myself getting hired by people that are telling me what they need, but need help while doing it. That gets very confusing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, well, I have this product and I have this idea, but it's vague. I'm not really sure about this idea. Can you help me with it? Oh, yes, I like that. No, I don't like that. And some people don't like the things they need, and some people like the things that they don't need. Deciphering that is a very hard task. So once I start finding myself in that position, it's just like, okay, let me just take the reins and show people how it's supposed to be.
For sure.
And it'll be the simplest thing, like somebody, oh, I don't think I need that. Yeah, but you do. Like even with Facebook, people would be like, oh, I don't, Facebook's old. I don't be on it. Facebook is the biggest platform in the world. They started the wave. You gotta understand, it's waves in life. Like the richest people in the world are the starters of the wave. In the 90s, it was the people at the top of the steel companies, and then it came to internet, and all of those people are at the top. So social media is right now is at the beginning of the wave.
Yeah.
The people with if you go online right now and find any business that's dealing with social media, they're still figuring it out. So we're in the beginning phases of figuring out social media itself. You can't really, I don't want to say you can't go wrong, but you can't be wrong by trying to figure it out right now, because you may figure out something that they haven't figured out right now. That's the reason why so many social media celebrities are becoming celebrities now, because of that.
Exactly.
And they've told, and if you look at so many stories, some of the biggest people in the world were told they were doing it wrong the whole time.
And they stuck with it. Exactly.
They stuck with a strategy, because having a strategy is more important than actually doing it the right way, because it's going to help you figure out what you're doing wrong. If you are doing something wrong.
For sure. I mean, that's real right there. And, you mentioned something like sticking with it, because, at the end of the day, I remember, and Carl, he knows, because he's been through my whole journey of being a creative. I had started putting together a retirement documentary. You know what I'm saying? Like, Miss Cat is retiring. Like, I need everybody just to say their good words about, because like sticking with it is definitely, I think that's like half the battle, So I want to have a woke confession moment real quick. Was there ever a time, because I know being a creative, right? I've been there, done that, wrote the book, and started the movie, right? Was there ever a time where you were in this journey and you wanted to quit? And I'm talking about, tell us not just, I quit today and then tomorrow I'm back. Like, give us one of those times where it was just like, yo, this is it.
I could give you the year. It was 2018.
Okay.
2018 was my 2020. Everybody was talking about 2020 changing their lives. 2018 was my pendulum changing in life period. I went through divorce, change of career, financial issues, starting business, how all of that goes. My sister passing, my father almost passing.
Sorry to hear that.
Actually going into my new lifestyle, because I worked oil field, so I had things safe. I had another house, getting that house vandalized. Like, I mean, I lost everything in 2018. Going through that is pretty much what I don't even think that you just actually go through that quick. It's like, I want to say maybe 2021 is when I could actually start seeing differently, and it just takes that much time sometimes, and I really want to say that year, if I have to mark, I don't want to mark a specific situation. I just know that year itself was the year where I had my own business. I went back to work, because I only went back to work for about a year and a half since I stopped working in 2017. Outside of about a year and a half, I worked for myself. But I went back to work that year. I was pretty much trying to get everything back in order from starting, and that was the year when it's like you can't go back. That's the thing about it. Like, when you jump off the cliff a certain way, it ain't no back. Like, sometimes people jump off a certain way and it's a back way. The way I did it, it wasn't no back way.
It was
just like, you already there. Like, like, where you can't do nothing but fight.
So with that being said, Carl, you had that time. What brought you through? Like, what can you say was the shining light, the light, that really turned things around?
I would say time. I would say time in evaluating things and processing things through myself. Like, you can be too smart for your own good. That's not good. So you have to understand that sometimes you have to constantly you have to constantly run things through yourself over and over again. You know, I always look at myself like, hey, what can I do better? What did I do wrong? What have I learned from it? And I think inside of that time, you go from beating yourself up. If you want to be anything in life, you'll go through a process of beating yourself up for doing anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to learn how to get beyond that part to understand, well, it's okay to not be okay. It's just not okay to stay there. It's just like, even when it come to me starting a business, I'm a high free spirit person. So I wasn't big on planning. I didn't realize how gifted I had planning in my head until things got serious enough to, I used to think, well, you know, I used to do videos off the spot. I didn't understand why people needed to write things down at one point in time. Like, oh, you need to write. I just go,
just people, go with it.
Yeah, I'd come do somebody whole video. You got a shot list? It's all in my head. But when I started having difficulties, I thought something was wrong with me, when it wasn't nothing wrong with me. It was just, hey, you have the ability to do these things without doing the things you need to, but that doesn't mean you don't need to do them. You know, so just I want to say time and not giving up, and me always reevaluating myself, my situation, and finding the learning curves in it is what really started pulling me through and start changing my mind state.
Got you. And, you know, one thing that I can say about the film, the being a creative, you know, all of that, this ain't for the weak. Nah. This ain't even for the half. Like, you gotta be a strong type of person,
especially here in Houston,
man. Because at the end of the day, everybody got an iPhone. They think that, you know, I mean, hey, it is what it is. And Carl, you and I both know, like, I love film, I love production, but you know how I feel, you know, that's just another thing. So
yeah, but when you was doing it, you was doing it though. That's the thing about it. Like, anybody who knows you knows that. That's not a lie. Like, you don't, like, you can't go back to 2017 and all of that, in 2018 and 2016, and you talk about independent film, you're gonna bring up Miss Cat name. So, you know, you may have stopped, but when you were doing it at a high volume, you know. Very high value.
And I appreciate that. But this is not about me. Yeah. But I'm just saying that what I was gonna say is the fact that you're maintaining, because this is wokeNbusiness, you know what I'm saying? And we're bringing the business element to the forefront, and to take something that most people either do for a hobby or, you know, just quit after a little while because it's too much. Like, it just be too much. You know, I just want to give you kudos, you know. And then for those that are in that space, like maneuvering through that space, do you have any advice or anything, you know, that you kind of want to, you know, because I mean, it can be hard sometimes.
Yeah. My advice to anybody dealing with any film is you got to learn how, I call it an effort switch. You got to learn how to turn it off and turn it on. You have to watch what's going on, but at the same time, know that almost means nothing. It's kind of weird. It's like the Matrix. To me, you just have to zone out and commit to you doing whatever you want to do, regardless of what's going on around you, and committing to a system. And that's bigger than anything. Like I'm starting to get into artist management through doing content. So now, even with artists that I'm starting to manage, we do a 3-month plan. It's, hey, look, I don't want to hear about what the video doing. I don't want to hear about who like what. I don't want to hear about nothing till we commit to 3 months, which is a quarter a year. And when I worked oil field, I learned that from that, because I watched the big businesses operate quarterly. So it's like, what does that tell me? That tells me, like, most artists or people inside of any type of entertainment, they're so quick to look at one thing of work or two things of work, and you can't. You throw yourself off with that. So that's what I learned. I did the same thing. So now it's like, commit to a strategy. Everything's like that. I used to box, and inside of boxing, you have to throw a 4-piece combo. You don't know if that you might hit them with number 4. You think you're hitting them with number 2, but if you didn't commit to all 4, you might not land the punch. So I love it. I think that's the biggest thing I learned, even from sports, adding everything together, is it's committing to a strategy and a time frame and a strategy so you can step back and actually see what's going on. And that's my biggest advice to people. No matter what's going on, no matter if you commit to 3 months and the second month seeing way worse than the first month, so
just keep
what?
Going.
Do the same game plan that you had for 3 months, then reevaluate.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, guys, if man, this is what I love so much about this show is because you don't know what you're gonna get, but you know, at the end of the day, I think that you really drop some great nuggets and jewels, and I also think that you know we don't look at film and you know people that do production as a real business, you know, but like at the end of the day, like this is real. Like, you know, you do this thing for real and you do it very well. You know, by the way. So, you know, so tell us about the Business for Business, because I'm excited, man, about the Business for Business show, only because you're bringing in new technology that like a lot of people just that, guys, if you're not following, and he's gonna give you his social media, but if you're not following what they're doing, you're like sleeping. And this is woke money. We're woke in business. I need y'all to wake up because they're introducing new technology. It's even making me want to come out of retirement, guys, and like start we got to do a movie or something. But tell them about Business for Business and just some of the technology that they can look forward to.
Oh, well, right now we're honing in on virtual reality, of course, 3D virtual reality sets. I own a green screen studio on the northwest side of Houston. It is called GFX Studios. And when I went into the business of green screen rental, it wasn't just for rental. It was also for me to operate my own work in. So it's a cross between both. But this year alone, we're zoning more into operating our own work out of our own studio, which we're honing in on, like I said, 3D virtual reality sets, and that's the future. And you see Meg Thee Stallion and all the artists doing whole awards ceremonies inside the VR world. So podcasts and talk shows are becoming a lot more common. So to make us pretty much stand out is going in the VR world, being able to build a set that may look like Oprah set, or it may look comical. Whatever fits the need inside of the creative world in that world. So we're honing in on that, and we'll have the capability to do it live stream.
I love it.
So we're not ready for live stream yet because a lot of people aren't ready to be that consistent with their show, as you know. So we will be going live after summertime.
Okay.
Right now we will be doing pre-recorded with the ability to go live, and around in the summertime we'll start going live with the virtual reality 3D sets, and we're going to pretty much focus on talk shows and podcasts.
That's so dope. So y'all heard it here first. Virtual reality. Okay, y'all heard that? Virtual reality. So a whole virtual reality set. This is like top of the line, creme de la creme. You can't find it nowhere else. You heard it here first at wokeNbusiness, okay? Because man, like you've always been ahead of the game even before you even knew it. And I know that a lot of that, like I was like, Carl, I need you to do this. Like, Carl, I need you to do that. Cat, do what? Like, I need you to. So I feel kind of responsible a little bit.
No, you did. I didn't want to stay stuck in that whole thing and start and get stuck there. But you're right. Like, I would say you was the second person to hire me, but the first person to give me a high position. And I remember that when we started the film, and I won the Trello contest, and everybody was in school but me. So the first day we met, I was the quietest one in the room because I couldn't speak the lingo. And the second time we met, everybody was in awe at the Trello, like, you the one that made the Trello? And I'm just kind of like, yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God. And then you like, okay, you're the director, you're over them. And I was uneasy with, hey, I don't know as much as them. You like, but you can't teach creativity. I remember you telling me that. You say you can tell them that it's not creative, you tell them to redo it. And I remember that, so yeah, that's a huge credit there to learn how to fill shoes that I wasn't even trying to step in at the time. you know.
That's real right there. So it's always love from Miss Cat. We've been rocking and rolling, and we're gonna continue to rock and roll.
Oh, yeah.
But for those that want to hire you or learn more about the virtual reality, or just stay tapped in with you, how do they stay connected?
Well, you can you can reach me at Frank and Land Studios. That is my first operating studio company. It's Frank, Frank. Shout out to my business partner Frank Shank, N N as in Nayland, which is my last name, and Land from the Nayland. So it's Frank and Land Studios. And Frank and Land on Instagram, and that's pretty much how you can get in contact with me for any filming. And as far as Business4Business goes, it's a show and a social media platform that's going to be geared for businesses, but we go through everything through the filming company.
Awesome. Well, y'all already know that that Flume TV, Frankenland Studios, Business4Business. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, they are one of our platforms that we utilize for the Woken Business podcast. So by all means, it's nothing but love. We thank you for your contribution to what you're doing here in Woken Business. Thank you for just always showing up when I need you to, and I look forward to us just continuing on.
Oh yeah, we got a lot to do
and being great.
Yeah, we got a lot to do, especially this year.
For sure. Yeah. So thank you for being a part of the Woken Business podcast. Oh, yeah. Guys, if you have missed the episode, or if you want to stay tuned, you can definitely find us at wokemoney.org. That's wokemoney.org to stay connected. Make sure you guys start getting your tickets to the conference.
Woke Money Conference.
Oh, yeah. Baby,
come to the Woke Money Conference.
It's definitely going down.
They missed the first one. The first one was great.
It was great, but it's definitely gonna get better. We're gonna be at the NRG Center. So we definitely need some more vendors. We need some speakers. We're hosting panels. So get tapped in. This is something that you don't want to miss. You want to be a part of. So stay connected at wokemoney.org. Make sure that you get your tickets. And again, if you want to, learn more about this podcast, or if you missed the episode and you want to tune in, we do house the episodes on our website, wokemoney.org. So shout out to Flume TV. Yeah. Shout out to GMT Radio. Yeah. Shout out to my guy, Ryan, who holds me down. And we will see you guys next week, every single Monday, 8:30. You can catch us here at the Woken Business Podcast. Have a great night.